Hi there, my name is RR, and today I'm gonna share with you my story of how I was able to move from the Philippines to Canada. This is going to be my first video here in YouTube. A lot of my friends have been trying to, push me to do it, to try vlogging, and finally I have time to do it. It's also my first year here in Canada. It's my anniversary of living here in Canada since I moved here last year, August 29, 2021. So I thought it would be a nice, a nice thing to do to share with you my story, my experiences of how I was able to move here from the Philippines to Canada. Some of my TikTok followers know I do not have any family or close relatives here in Canada, and I'd say it's quite challenging. It wasn't an easy journey, and I'm gonna talk about how I decided to move here first, and then I'll share with you what happened after that, like how I was able to decide to study or, I mean, work here, how I was able to uh, find my program, how I was able to find my school or college here in Canada. So this video is going to be, just to share. I mean, the purpose of the video is just to share with you guys how I was able to move here, and hopefully it would inspire you and you'll also learn something about my experience so that you can use it also as a way for you to move here in Canada. So yeah. Right, so let's begin. So it all started in the year 2020. My plan was to move from the Philippines to Australia because I have a younger sister who lives there. Unfortunately, the international borders of Australia were closed because of the pandemic. And although I have submitted my application for permanent residency already, I did not receive any invitation, and this is also because the international borders were closed. So I had to find a different country where I can, migrate and work. I tried to research. Some of my options were United States, United Kingdom, and Canada. And during that time, I thought Canada was one of the countries with the fastest processing times. So that's where I decided. I mean, that's when I decided that I will pursue Canada. Initially, I wanted to work there because I heard about the express entry, and it's like one of the programs that they have for permanent residency, where they invite skilled applicants to work and live in Canada. So my goal was to work in Canada. So one of the requirements is for you to have a valid IELTS IELTS scores. So I tried to apply for the IELTS exam. I took it. I scheduled it October 2020. It was a computer delivered exam, and you have to prove to them that you're proficient with your English in terms of reading, writing, speaking, and listening. So since it was a computer delivered exam, you have to answer all the questions in a computer. The results came out, I think, around October last week or November, and although I have CLB 7 or CLB 8, if I remember correctly, my scores were still not enough to be invited. And during that time, express entry draws, I think the lowest scores were around 450 to 470 to be invited for permanent residency. So I thought, hey, it's still not enough. Although I already have good scores for the CRS for IELTS, I think it's still not enough. So I decided I'll try to take it again to improve my comprehensive ranking system scores, or what they call the CRS scores. So I scheduled another exam in December, and that time I decided I'll try the paper-based exam. So I scheduled it. It was in Hotel Kimberly in Tagaytay in December, and it's kind of different because writing everything, answering it in paper is different from taking it in a computer. So it was quite challenging, but when the results came out in January 2021, my scores improved and I got a CRS higher than my first one. And unfortunately, I think the invitation draws or invitation rounds for the express entry stopped, and they were prioritizing applicants who were already here in Canada during that time. So it's either they prioritize those who have a Canadian experience class or those with provincial nomination applications. During that time, I already submitted my application for FSW or Federal Skilled Workers, and my scores were still not enough. And secondly, they're not inviting people in the FSW program. So I thought about it, and I thought, maybe it's time for me to try a different pathway. And instead of working, I tried, searching about the international studies in Canada, and I found out that it's one of the fastest ways as well. So might as well study in Canada. I mean, I don't want to wait. I don't want to, keep on waiting. I don't know when the pandemic lockdowns will end and whatever the government will implement, like what kinds of restrictions will be implemented in the next months. So I decided to study in Canada, and I had this agency. I contacted them like 2018 or 2019. Before the pandemic. It's called AECC Global. I had a contact there before, and I reached out to them again, asking about an opportunity for study. So they already helped me before, so I know they can help me this time. So I tried to ask about, programs and schools. What I was thinking about was, since I wanted to move out of the Philippines as soon as possible, I didn't care about, the program or the school, as long as it has the earliest start intake, or it has the earliest start date for the classes. So I tried to look for, for a school. They have a list of schools there. I tried to look for a program with the earliest start date, and I saw a lot of them, some in British Columbia, some in Alberta, some in Ontario, and I had to choose a program and a school with the earliest start date. So I saw the one, it's called the Project Management Information Technology Program, which is offered in Canada College, and that was for May 2021 intake, which is a spring term. So I decided, hey, I want to take it, I want to do it, I want to study here. And then January, I gathered all the requirements needed for the school application. So that includes your, proof of English proficiency, your university or college diploma, your transcript of records, your IDs, your passports, and all those stuff. So in February 2021, since I submitted my application already for Canada College, I received the letter of acceptance from the school. And then I also applied for a different school called Algonquin College, and I also received another letter of acceptance. So I had applied for two schools, Canada College and Algonquin College, and I received two letter of acceptance, or LOAs. So I had to decide between the two schools which ones I need to choose. Because both are good, both are nice schools. It's just that one of them was offering me a bursary award or a scholarship. So I had to choose that school, and it was Canada College. And Canada College is located in North Bay, Ontario. It's quite far from where I'm currently staying, but still I wanted to move out of the Philippines as soon as possible. So I chose that school, and I decided I'm gonna study here. So I gathered all the requirements in February. I told my agent, hey, I want to study here. I paid for the tuition. I also gathered all the requirements for the study permit. So the study permit, or the student visa, is one of the visas that are offered by Australia, by Canada, and there's a lot of requirements. Actually, I'm gonna make another video for that one, but I submitted all the requirements for Canada study permit, and in March I applied, and immediately, like 2 days after, I received a letter or biometrics instruction. So they're gonna gather my biometrics information. So those are my photo and my fingerprints. So I had to go to a visa application center, which is in VFS Global. So I had to book an appointment in VFS Global. I had to go there. It's in Makati, and I had my photos and my fingerprints taken. So after that, I waited for 2-3 weeks, and then I received another letter from IRCC that they are inviting me, or instructing me to have my medical. So since the start date was in May 2021, I know that I had to complete the medical immediately. So I had to go to St. Luke's Medical Center, which is in BGC. I had my medical taken there, so they took my blood, all this physical exams, chest x-rays. I think there are still other exams that were conducted there, but I was expecting there was no issues with my medical. I know I was healthy. I know I was living. I didn't have any kind of sickness or illness. I wasn't feeling sick during that time, so I was feeling great, and I was confident I'm gonna pass my medical. Unfortunately, they saw something in my lungs. They told me that I have to do another test, which is the TB smear and sputum test. That one, I think, if I remember correctly, if you take that test, they were gonna collect your sputum, and you have to wait for 2 months because they're gonna culture it, and that would affect my application because I was expecting that I will be in Canada already in April 2021. But since I had to do another exam, my application kind of got delayed. So I had no choice. I had to do that test. So I scheduled my exam, my TB exam, and it was in April 2021. So unfortunately, the government had this community GCQ, community quarantine, implemented for a week. So that one affected my application for the visa and the medical exam as well. So I had to wait for 1 or 2 weeks. After that, I had to do the additional exam. I think it's April 15, 16, 17, I had to go to St. Luke's Medical Center, which is in Ermita, Manila. They had to collect my sputum there. I went there for 2 days straight because they had to collect my sputum at around 5 a.m. or 5 in the morning. So I had to go there from Cavite to Manila. I had to take Grab, and then after that, they collected my sputum. I had to wait for, I think, 2 months before they released the results. And I know, I wanted to be in Canada in April, but since I had to wait for the results, that's not gonna happen anytime soon. So I had to decide because the start date of the studies is May 2021 for my program. And the school has been asking me, hey, are you still gonna enroll with us? So I had to decide, and I attended the orientation. It was nice, but I was still undecided if I will be deferring my application for the school program to September 2021, or I had to take a risk and apply for that, enroll, and then I guess pray that my results are okay. Because if they find out that my results are still not okay, they will not grant me my visa, my study permit, and I already paid for tuition, and Canada College will not be refunding it. So that was a risky thing for me to do, but still I was decided. So before I enrolled in May 2021, I took one exam. It's called the quantiferon TB test. So they have a test for the blood, and I think they will give you the results one day later, or 1 or 2 days after you took the exam. So that time, I know it's going to be expensive. It's an additional cost for me, but I took it because I wanted to know if I have, tuberculosis or not, and that would, give me some kind of peace of mind knowing that I'm negative. And hopefully, when the results come at, the results of the TB test for smear and sputum test will turn out negative, then it's worth the risk. So I took the test, I paid for the quantiferin test, waited for a day or two, and it was negative. So I decided a day after that I will be enrolling in my program, and I attended the classes. So after that, May 2021, I had to wait for the results of the sputum test, and I had to do full-time work as well, because I would had to work, I had to support my family, I had to pay for the bills. So while waiting, I had to find a job, because I initially resigned because I was kind of expecting that I will be in Canada already in April. So my job then, I had to resign in February 2021, and then my last day was April 2021. So for 1 month I didn't have job because I resigned immediately, and I didn't expect that I will have an issue with my medical test. So take note, I don't resign immediately if you don't have the visa approved yet. So that's my story and a lesson learned for me. So I had to find a job. Fortunately, I was hired by Metrobank, and I had to work there for at least in July, August, 3 months. So while waiting for the results of my TB culture test, that was a challenging experience for me, because I was working 9 a.m. until 6 p.m. and I had to work in the office. So I had to commute from Cavite to BGC. So that was like daily, because they require us to, since we're working in the bank, they required us to be there to work in the office. So I had to go, go take the Grab, go to work, and then after that, go home. I have classes starting 8:30 in the evening until 3:30 a.m. in the morning, early morning. So I was really tired because I was doing full-time jobs with multiple projects, and then after that, when I go home, I have to attend classes. So it was a really, really tiring experience for me. It was also challenging because it was in the middle of the pandemic, and the transportation system is not yet okay that time. So I had to wait for vans, I had to wait for buses, and I had to attend classes while I was commuting. Sometime I remember it was raining and there were no vans and buses, so I had to attend my classes waiting for that in MOA, and I was kind of teary-eyed because that was a really challenging experience for me, because I just want to go home and study, and it was a tiring experience for me. Other time, I also had to book Airbnb because I really cannot do it anymore, commuting every day and then attending classes in the evening. So I had to do some Airbnb. I had to book Airbnb so that I can just have enough rest. That worked well because in June they gave me the results. It said I was negative for TB, and I had to repeat my X-ray, the chest X-ray, and it was also okay. And in July, I received the letter, so that you can have your passports stamped in the embassy. So you had to give your passport to a courier for VFS Global, and then they will be doing some counterfoils there, and then they will deliver the stamp passport to you. Once I had that one, I had that stamp passport with a visa, I immediately resigned from Metrobank, and I told my boss that I will be pursuing international studies in Canada. So I told him that, and he understood. And I had to, unfortunately, I had to wait for 30 days because I had to render 30 days per contract. So I was only able to move to Canada in August 2021. Although my visa got approved in July, I had to wait for 30 days because that's what the contract was. I just have to do it because I needed the back pay as well to help support my self here in Canada. So it was quite a challenging experience for me, but I was still lucky because a lot of applications you know, um, got rejected during that time. I was able to move to Canada in August, and it was also a different story here. It was also a different journey. I was so happy that they got my application accepted. I have an approved visa, and I was so happy. I'm just so happy, and I'll be sharing other experiences with you in different videos, like how I was able to apply for the school, what are the process, what are the requirements, what are the steps on applying for a study permit, and how I was able to find a place here in Canada. I was able to apply for a part-time job. So I'll try to upload more videos for you guys, but I hope this one kind of give you an idea of what is like for somebody who doesn't have a family or relative here in Canada. What's the experience like? And hopefully it gives you an idea of the process of international student. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to click like, follow, or subscribe. And I'll be uploading more videos for you soon. See ya!